Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to highlight something which is very, very important, especially to, family vloggers and the Inghams in particular, who should take note of this. Now, those of you who are subscribed to my other channel will have already seen this that I'm about to show you, but I think that it's best looked at on this channel as well, and especially in terms of the Inghams we're going to be talking about today, because they put their kids out there and it's insane, right? So there was this story recently that came out about a school in Spain, and they have had a very serious incident relating to AI, artificial intelligence, and some of their kids were used and photos made of them and distributed, and it was very sad. But this can happen to anybody. It can happen definitely to family vloggers, and it definitely can happen to the Inghams. So I'm going to take you through that article right now. AI generated naked child images shock Spanish town of Almendralejo. I think that's how it's pronounced, sorry. A sleepy town in southern Spain is in shock after it emerged that AI-generated naked images of young local girls had been circulating on social media without their knowledge. The pictures were created using photos of the targeted girls fully clothed, many of them taken from their own social media accounts. So again, this is another example and another warning that even if you post normal pictures, fully clothed pictures, just yourself going about your daily business, that people can take those images and do insane things with. So just because you are appropriately dressed, it does not mean that it's a safe thing to do. So always be careful before you post anything, particularly your kids post anything. These were then processed by an application that generates an imagined image of the person without clothes on. So far, more than 20 girls aged between 11 and 17 have come forward as victims of the app's use. One day, my daughter came out of school and she said, "Mum, there are photos circulating of me topless," says Maria Blanco Rayo, the mother of a 14-year-old. I asked her if she had taken any photos of herself nude, and she said, "No, Mum, these are fake photos of girls that have been created a lot right now. And there are other girls in my class that this has happened to as well." She says the parents of 28 girls, that's 28 girls affected, have formed a support group in the town. Police are now investigating, and according to reports, at least 11 local boys have been identified as having involvement in either the creation of the images or their circulation via WhatsApp and Telegram apps. Investigators are also looking into the claim that an attempt was made to extort one of the girls by using a fake image of her. See what this modern technology is actually doing. People say that modern technology is great and it's doing this and that and it's opening so many doors, and you can do AI. AI is amazing. AI can do amazing things and it's good for fun, but used by in the wrong hands, AI is insanely terrifying for everybody concerned. And I don't want to scaremonger, but this is probably just the tip of the iceberg, and it's going to get worse unless something is done. And I don't know what can be done, but something needs to be done because this is really going to get out of hand. The impact that the images circulation has had on the girls have varied. Ms. Blanca Rayo says her daughter is bearing up well, but that some girls won't even leave their house. Almendralejo is a picturesque town with a population of just 30,000, which is known for its production of olives and red wine, but it's not used to the sudden attention this case has brought, making the town national headline news. That's in part because of the efforts of one of the girls' mothers, Miriam Al-Adib. She's a gynecologist who has used her already prominent social media profile to place this issue at the center of Spanish public debate. So that's good. In what could have otherwise been just shoved under the carpet or just not known around the world, they have managed to get it out there, get the news out there, so that people are paying attention and people are talking about it, because this needs to be talked about a lot. You know, my last video on the AI, the deep fakes, wasn't really watched an awful lot, you know, but it is something that needs really for people to know about, even if you're not interested in it, or if, you know, if you're worried about it, you still need to know in order to protect yourself and your kids and everybody else. Although many of the AI images are believed to have been created over the summer, the case only came to light in recent days after Dr. Adib posted a video reassuring the girls affected and their parents. We didn't know how many children had the images, if they had been uploaded to pornographic sites. We had all those fears, she said. When you are the victim of a crime, if you're robbed, for example, you file a complaint and you don't hide because the other person has caused you harm. But with crimes of a sexual nature, the victim often feels shame and hides and feels responsible. So I wanted to give that message. It's not your fault. Which is brilliant, because it's, you know, kids, this is why a lot of times, and not just with children but with adults too, they don't come forward, they don't put it out there. And in traditional like sextortion cases with kids, they often don't ever come forward, which is really worrying, because it never comes to light until it's too late. So we need kids to know that they can come forward and tell somebody, because it's not right, it's not their fault, and it's always best to tell somebody in this situation, always, irrespective of what you think the consequences is going to be, or what they think the consequences are going to be. It's always best to tell somebody and just get it out there, because an adult can help the situation. The suspects in this case are aged between 12 and 14. Spanish law does not specifically cover the generation of images of a sexual nature when it comes to adults, although the creation of such material using minors could be deemed child pornography. See, obviously this is in Spain, it comes under their laws. If it was here, I believe it would be covered under child pornography, and you know, that's illegal. In Spain, it's not quite as clear cut. Another possible charge could be for breaching privacy laws. In Spain, minors can only face criminal charges from the age of 14 upwards. The case has caused concern even for people who are not involved. Those of us who have kids are very worried, says Gemma Lorenzo, a local woman who has a son aged 16 and a daughter aged 12. You're worried about two things. If you have a son, you worry he might have done something like this, and if you have a daughter, you're even more worried because it's an act of violence. So this situation in general with AI is getting very serious, and we should all be worried about it, right? All of us. You know, as this has highlighted, this can actually happen to anybody with any type of person, just general people in general. But when it comes to family vloggers, and the Inghams, they put their kids out there and they know that this can happen. They are feeding their children to the wolves. They are feeding their children to this type of people who have bad intentions, and they need to know, and they need to be worried. They need to be worried the same as everybody else, but they aren't. So I'm highlighting this now for Chris and Sarah to stop and think exactly what they are doing, exactly who they're putting their kids' images out to, and do they want this to happen? Because this is very, very serious, and if it's happening to people at a random school in Spain, it is happening definitely to family vlogger kids. Definitely. I guarantee. So if you don't want that to happen to your children, if you don't want that to be a thing, and for your kids to have to go through that, you can do something about it. I mean, you can't take back the images that you've put out there already, but you can stop it going forward and try and minimize the risk, minimize the damage. So with that being said, please give this video a massive thumbs up, comment all your thoughts about this down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye bye.